Hey guys, so I gotta record all of this over again. I had at least 5 minutes of footage that went down the crapper. So, anyway, let's go over this again. I'll try and have as much oomph and everything as I did the first time around. So, essentially, guys, welcome to Jurassic Room, and hope y'all enjoy this overdue review of Tarzan for the 25th anniversary. Tarzan's my all-time favorite Disney film. I love the music. I love Tarzan. No homo. Anyway, but second comes Disney's Dinosaur, as well as Brother Bear for number 3. Other 4 and 5 would probably be Hunchback of Notre Dame and Robin Hood. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Anyway, I want to show y'all some stuff from my youth that I already showed y'all, but show it again. So I thought I'd show my toys real quick. Now my dad sold my Clayton and Jane from way back in the day. I can't find my Kala figure that came from the McDonald's toys. So y'all let me know if y'all had these as kids. I got the Tantor right here. I got like 2 others in one of my toy boxes, but I keep him, see right there, keep him well up here. We even got, and I'll of course cover next year Disney's Dinosaur, because it's, so I love Disney's Dinosaur, the Carnotaur puppet. I actually have. I never realized they never made an Aladar Nera figure for that wave, or the McDonald's toy. So I do have Baleen. There's 8 toys in the set, so I have all 3 puppets. I gotta find the other 2. Bruton, Baleen, Ema. I got the lemurs somewhere around here. I know I got the lemurs. I know that, and there's one more figure. I can't remember what it was though. Somewhere around here. But anyway, I essentially have all of them. And then here is little mini Tarzan, which I'll talk about more about toys in a little while. He's pretty loose, but this is one of my all-time favorite toys as a kid because I love Tarzan the show, or Tarzan the movie. And I couldn't find also Bear in the Big Blue House right here. Anyone remember that show? Bear in the Big Blue House. And Scar. I just dropped my bullseye. Hopefully he didn't lose the knife, wherever that is. I hope and pray. Anyway, sorry. See what else we got. So, go ahead and make sure it's recording. But here we go. Got the old Tarzan shirt of mine. Jungle Friends with Turk and Tarzan. Let's see, what is this? Oh. And of course we got the Jungle Playground with Turk, Tarzan, and Tantor. Triple T. Those are my old shirts, and of course we'll go over some of the movies real quick. I actually just bought, and I'm glad I looked through this again because I have the soundtrack right here. Sorry. Tarzan, I bought this actually today so we could do a live stream of watching. I believe the other version I have right here is pretty messed up from my youth of watching it so much. I also had the VHS back in the other room, which I'm not going to dig out right now. But I used to watch that all the time because I had a VHS player as a kid. Dinosaur ages, but anyway. Yes, we have tons of VHSs, which we still watch. But I got Tarzan right here. And to compare it real quick with the original I have, by the way, this is my original DVD that I had of Tarzan that I've had for years. Has a lot more special features. This one has like the making and a few other different things, of like new ones, including the music video of Phil Collins and NSYNC, of all the popular Everlife, deleted scenes, alternate opening. Alternate opening. Filmmakers audio commentary. That would be really cool to check out again. Like do 2 live streams, one of watching the film and one of the audio commentary would be pretty cool. Turk's Tree Surfing Challenge, which equals 3 games. Disneypedia Living in the Jungle, and technical things. So that's the new one. This is the old one, which included the music videos for Strangers Like Me and Trash in the Camp. Or sorry, Strangers Like Me, which you can find on YouTube. I love the radio version of Strangers Like Me. And I also love, of course, the second version, the radio version of You'll Be in My Heart, which is my second all-time favorite song of all time. So, I love that song. You'll be... I got Nero looking at me now. Anyway. Trash in the Camp behind-the-scenes studio session with Phil Collins, a special guest, as featured on the Tarzan soundtrack. So, that's probably NSYNC, as far as I recollect. Tarzan Interactive Read-Along. Tarzan Interactive Trivia Game. Sneak peek at Disney's upcoming film Dinosaur. Now, Dinosaur, of course, is my second favorite Disney film of all time, like I've told y'all. I think I already said Tarzan, Dinosaur, Brother Bear, Hunchback of Notre Dame, something else. But anyway, let's see. Theatrical trailer, which I mentioned in my other video that I lost in recording, that I got to add a reaction to this video of watching the original trailer. I didn't think of that. I'm glad I just remembered that. And I got to react to the original theatrical trailer, which I might actually go ahead and do this real quick so I can edit in before the rest of the video. But anyway, what do you like? Hands like I just don't care. French and Spanish language tracks. Let's like all the different stuff. Free Tarzan action game playable demo, which I guess is the demo for the PlayStation game. And internet links to Disney websites. So that's pretty much everything regarding the original Tarzan DVD. There's the back. There's the new. There's the back. Hopefully that is not fuzzy for y'all. And of course I got Tarzan 2, which I'll cover as well, the history and the aftermath of Tarzan. There's Tarzan 2, which to be honest, I didn't mind as a kid, but I always preferred the stories of adult Tarzan rather than him as a kid. Which leads us to Tarzan and Jane, which I loved watching this as a kid. I actually got to buy a new version of this because I'm pretty sure it's screwed up. It's actually still in the case, but I loved this movie. Technically, it's half a movie and half looking back at the first 3 episodes of the animated series, which I loved the animated series, one of my top 5 favorites of all time. I just love this movie, or love this series of Tarzan. I loved Tarzan as a kid. Like, also George of the Jungle. I have to do George of the Jungle sometime too, because I believe George of the Jungle came out in 2000, so I'll have to cover that as well. Fun fact, which I don't think I wrote down in my script, Brendan Fraser actually tried like 2 or 3 times to get the role of playing Tarzan in this film before losing it to Tony Goldwyn. But anyway, at least he got to play George of the Jungle, which as a kid I used to take my little Tigger fishing rod, those little crappy fishing rods that you give to kids, and jump face first onto my floor. I said forced. Jump face first onto my floor intentionally, probably why I have a little bit of brain damage. No recollection. Anyway, but yeah, I got this too. Plus, songs performed by Phil Collins and Mandy Moore. She must sing Song of Life. Went from Tarzan to Tangled. Anyway, got one last thing. The original... This is broken too. The original soundtrack that I had as a kid. I got this like 2000, something like that. I remember getting it at Walmart. My mom got it for me, and I listened to this many times. Many times I listened to these songs. My favorite was always Son of Man was always my favorite one until I grew up and kind of got more into Phil Collins, and definitely You'll Be in My Heart is my second favorite song. The radio version, not the worldwide version, of all time. So, and there's Phil, good old Phil back there. Of course, also by Mark Mancina, which Mark Mancina, tons of stuff with Disney. He's done everything from Tarzan, Brother Bear. I know the last movie he did was Moana, so there you go. Song, music in that was pretty awesome. So there it is, the original soundtrack I had. It's just as old as me. And of course, I'll go over the songs later in the video as I use snippets from them so I don't get copyrighted by Disney. So anyway, we're going to clip it right here. I'm going to go ahead and check out the theatrical trailer for Tarzan. Really quick, because I don't have any other shirts. I'm just wearing this crappy t-shirt. Because I got to get this video out. It's the 17th. I just didn't know how I was going to end this video, so I'm just winging it. I'm just winging this overdue review. So let's go ahead and find it real quick. Yeah, sorry, best in the slot. But, I gotta wait on Jurassic Revolution Tarzan theatrical trailer. Now, in my script, I never went over the full length of the history of Tarzan as a character. I really only focused on the cartoon. So, here's the original 1999 trailer. Also, trailer 2 and trailer 3. Let's go and check them all out. So, check out trailer 1. Okay, hold on a second. What is that? I just saw a giraffe come out of a turtle shell. What? Okay, that's a weird Starburst commercial. Anyway, here we go. First trailer. Boing. Okay, sorry. Boing. Oh man, there it is. hope I'm in this ring. Yes! Oh my gosh! I listen to so much, but I love that drum beat. An immortal legend. Oh man. As a kid, I loved this so much. I can't wait to do the live stream with y'all. I'm gonna get my whole family to do it. I know my mom's gonna be included. My gosh, Sabor and Kerchak. Life's untouched by man. Within this world there's stream love. A simple life. I live in the peace. Raise your head up. Mid-time mood. Take strength from those that need you. So beautiful, the artwork.
Now forget what you see. What do you feel?
The sin is gone, but where there's hope, somewhere something is calling for you. Oh, chills, nostalgic chills. Family, trust your heart, let faith decide to guide these lives we see. Oh my gosh, I love this so much! Did they ever do the yell here? Coming from Walt Disney Pictures. June 1999. Oh my gosh, nostalgic chills. Nostalgic chills. Here's the second trailer. And I'll link this channel below, the Disney Animation Resource channel. So, God bless you. Anyway, boing! Theatrical trailer 2. Oh, theatrical. Oh, okay, whatever. June 18th. An Immortal Legend. Man, I think I remember this one, but it's so long as you only imagined.
Was it alone?
Lance Hendrickson.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Tyler Olsen actually got to meet Tyler, or
There are no others.
Lance Hendrickson at a Comic-Con lately.
I said he could stay. That doesn't make him my son.
That is so cold. Oh, I always love that scene. He comes in with all the animal army. Coming from Walt Disney Pictures. June 18th. Okay, so theatrical release was June 18th at least. I got that right. Technically, Tarzan had, as I'll explain in my script, technically three releases. I believe it was June 12th, which, of course, is actually Jurassic World. Jurassic World's release date. I meant to do something funnier with that. But anyway, was when it was premiered at the this is going to suck so bad that I don't have my script to read. L something theater. Anyway, on June 16th, it had a limited release, the limited theatrical release, and on June 18th was the official theatrical release. So anyway, let's check out theatrical trailer number 3. Alright. Boing! Let's see what this is like. Oh, I'm gonna guess. So went full Tim Allen there. You seem so strong. My arms around you keep you safe and warm.
Was it alone?
Yes.
And of course, now we got that Frozen theory that Tarzan is the brother
I
of.
said he could stay.
How does that work?
That doesn't make him my son.
So cold. So now Frozen is in the same universe as 1980s London. To be wise,
Tell me I'm not looking at the
these
hairless
things
one.
will come to you in time. Someone heard metal too. When this water's sanitary, it looks questionable to me. Now, man, in time, you will teach, and in teaching you will learn. Find the ones you love.
We saved my
Wild man in a loincloth. Yeah, Son of man, the man for all to see. So awesome. It's been at least 19 years since I've seen these trailers. Like, originally, I've probably seen them on the DVDs or something like that. Nostalgic chills. Okay, good! I'm still recording, because now I'm going to switch over to my animated version. I think I'm going to switch over to my animated version and cut it in and out so I got more time to edit. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Or, what am I saying? Thanks for watching. We're going to clip over to my animated self so I can talk more about the movie and read the script and all that. So, anyway, cutting out. By the way, remember when this was a thing on VHS?
Find out more about Disney movies like Tarzan. Just type in Disney.com, the #1 family site on the web. Click on the Movies channel and go to Video and DVD for the latest information on new releases, coming attractions, special offers, and more. To see it all, come to where the magic lives online. Be our guest at Disney.com, part of Go Network.
Hello and welcome to Disney's demise.
Anyway, welcome to the animated version of me, who will be doing this video. So essentially, this is my new animated self, which I've been meaning to cover for a while. I have cats in here while I'm recording, and they're about rearing up to get to a fight. No. Bad little kitty. No subwar in here. Anyway, so let's get on with this. As my more pudgy, realistic-looking self has said before, Tarzan was released in the June of 1999, which technically had 3 release dates. June 12th, it was premiered at the El Capitan Theater, which I'll get to later. Kind of getting a little head of here. Anyway, also on June 16th with a limited theatrical release date, and June 18th, which is tomorrow, which is why I gotta get this done soon, for the official theatrical release date. It was produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation for Walt Disney Pictures. It was the 37th film by Disney and the 10th in the Disney Renaissance era, which, if you don't know what those films are, essentially from the late 80s to the mid 90s, into like Tarzan, Aladdin, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Lion King, all fall under the Disney Renaissance era. It was also distributed by Bonavista Pictures. The film is based on Tarzan and the Apes, a novel written by Edgar Rice Burroughs, the author of such novels as The Land That Time Forgot and The Princess of Mars. This is also the first animated telling, which I'll talk more about in a little bit. The film is directed by Kevin Lima and Chris Buck, the directors and producers of other fantastic films such as Frozen, okay, not so fantastic, screw Frozen over so much, Pocahontas, Surf's Up, Enchanted, Oliver and Company, Aladdin, A Goofy Movie, The Wild, and the Eloise movies. So pretty much a ton of Disney stuff. There you go. The film was produced by Bonnie Arnold, and the screenplay was by Tad Murphy, Bob Zucker, and Nani White. The story was by Steven Anderson, Mark D. Kennedy, Carol Holliday, Jayton Brizzy, and Paul Brizzy. Probably butchered their names, I apologize. Don Doherty, Ed Gombert, Randy Haycock, Don Hall, Kevin L. Harkey, Glenn Keane, Bernie Mattinson, Frank Neeson. I originally said it was Nissan, so. John Norton, Jeff Snow, Michael Surrey, Christopher J. Urey, Mark Walton, Stevie Wormers, and Kelly Whiteman. And John Ramirez. The music score was written and performed by famous songwriter Mark Mancina, who would do most of the score for the film. Basically everything, and you can hear it in the film itself. You can hear it in many of his films, the most recent being that of Moana. You can always hear the exotic tones he chooses for his films. You always feel immersed in the same environment that the movie is based on. And of course he also did Tarzan and Brother Bear. He only performed one other time with Phil Collins in Brother Bear to do the same music and score. Speaking of Phil Collins, famous 80s singer, technically he's from the 70s as well, and through the 90s. Phil Collins was brought in to perform the songs. So the other songs also feature the likes of Glenn Close for the lullaby version of You'll Be in My Heart. Rosie O'Donnell, of course, performed Trash in the Camp for the theatrical version, and NSYNC covered a duel with Phil Collins for the special kind of side song, I don't know, non-official theatrical version song. The film was edited by Gregory Perker, and the film stars Tony Goldwyn as Tarzan, and Alex D. Linz as young Tarzan, Minnie Driver as Jane Porter, Glenn Close as Kala, Rosie O'Donnell as Turk, Brian Blessed as Clayton, Wayne Knight as Tantor, plus Taylor Dempsey as young Tantor, Nigel Hawthorne as Professor Archimedes Q. Porter, Lance Henriksen as Kerchak, Bob Bergen as Robert Bergen. A lot of these characters I'm about to name off are named after their voice actor counterparts. Billy Bodine as Billy Warden Bodine. Oh, the beauties of making a video. Roger Bumpus as Roger Bumpus. Arya Curson as Arya Curson. Patty Dutch as Tantor's mother. Blake Irving as Blake Irving, or it could be Ewing, my writing is atrocious. Scott Gershon as Scott Gershon. Tom Hall as Johnny Hall, or that could be Tommy Hall. Like I said, my writing is atrocious. James W. Lively as James Lively. Melissa Mackey as Melissa Marquis. Mickey McGowan as Mickey McGowan. Michael Deegan as Michael Deegan. Laurie Schlinger as Laurie Schlinger. Brianne Brosey as Brianne Siddall, Susie Stewens Logan as Susie Stewens Logan, Danielle Keaton as Danielle Keaton, Frank Welker as Frank Welker, the famous voice actor of Megatron, as Sabor, and April Winchell as Turk's mother. Also starring Beth Anderson, Jack Angel, Joseph Ashton, Hilary Brooks, Lily Collins, which is of course Phil Collins' daughter, Kat Cressida, Jim Cummings, the famous Jim Cummings of Winnie the Pooh, Jennifer Darling, Debbie Derryberry. I'm almost like saying Dirtberry. It's Derryberry. That's quite a name. Paul Eating, Francesca Falcone, Michael Geiger, Sam Gifaldi, Amy Gleason, Jackie Gunsu, Debbie Hall, Sandy Hall, Tina Halverson, Lindy Harmon, Karen Harper, Mika Hopman, Jennifer L. Hughes, Grady Hutt, Lana Jackman, Adam Harpt, or Harpel, I think it's Harpel, Theo LeBeau, Brandon Lucas, Ricky Laquise, Sherry Lynn, Donnie Mann, Lena Marks, Jason Marston, Donna Medine, Nils Montan, Bobby Page, Brendan Poland, Phil Proctor, my writing is atrocious, Scott Record, so there, Ian Redford, Jessica Rotter, that's quite a name too, Chris Sanders, Stephanie Sawyer, Frank Sims, Shane Sweet, Tiffany Takana, Dominic Dessau, Darren J. Nels, Joe White, Aaron Von Dalton, and Jamie Tarsellini. So that's all the names. I probably butchered a ton of them. So anyway, getting on with all this. Like I said, the Disney release date for Tarzan was June 12th of 1999, and it premiered at the El Capitan Theater on that date. It also had a limited release on June 16th, 1999, and a theatrical release of June 18th, 1999 in the USA. It had a runtime of 88 minutes, so an hour 28 minutes. It was rated G, It also had a budget of $130 million, then the most expensive animated film ever until Treasure Planet of 2002 with a $104.6 million budget, or total gross. Tarzan took in a box office of over $448.2 million, and pre-production began in 1995 with Buck joining Lima later in the year, that being Chris Buck joining Kevin Lima in production almost a year later. Tab Murphy wrote the first draft with Bob Zudiker and Ronnie White to fix the third and add additional screenplay. English-born singer Phil Collins was brought on to record original soundtracks featuring scores by Mark Mancina. The production team traveled to Uganda and Kenya, Africa to study gorilla behavior for the animation. I'd also like to note, before I continue, Tarzan was also the second highest in the animation field of 1999, or the second highest grossing film in animation of 1999 behind Toy Story 2. It was also the first Disney animated film to reach first place in the US box office since Pocahontas of 1995. As the animation itself was being done at Disney Studios in Orlando, Florida, as well as Paris, France, along with cutting-edge computer animation software known as Deep Canvas being used to create the three-dimensional backgrounds, Tarzan premiered at the El Capitan Theater on June 12th. Well, we all know what happened on June 12th as well, 1999, and was released in the US on June 16th with a limited release, as well as a theatrical release of June 18th. And received praise from critics for the animation and music, even winning the Academy Awards for Best Original Song, You'll Be in My Heart. I screwed up my second favorite song of all time. The radio version sung by Phil Collins. The film was followed by a Broadway musical, following the story of the film, along with the shows in, I'm gonna butcher this so bad, Scheveningen. All I see is Ingen in the last part of the name, Scheveningen in 2007, Kristianstad of 2008, Hamburg in 2008 as well, Stuttgart in 2013, and Oberhausen in 2016. Which the production of that play was also directed and designed by Bob Crowley, with choreography by Meryl Tankard. Also featuring the film songs by Phil Collins and Mark Mancina. An animated cartoon series called The Legend of Tarzan followed, landing in 2001 through 2003 with 2 seasons and 39 episodes following the events of the film. Featuring now voice actors, featuring new voice actors, but the same musical scores by Collins and Mancina, which is subsequently followed by a sequel animated direct-to-DVD release called Tarzan and Jane. Tarzan the film would also get a film sequel entitled Tarzan 2, following a further story from Tarzan's youth in June 14th of 2005, featuring many of the original voice actors, including Lance Henriksen as Kerchak and Glenn Close as Kala. The film would also go on to win many awards in regards to the voice acting and score, while featuring both new and old scores by Collins and Mancina, including the song Who Am I? And of course, all that I was just talking about was Tarzan 2, because I am crap at writing. So, in a sense, I'm just going to wing the plot instead of reading off of Google or whatever I find as references. So essentially, the film opens up with Tarzan's parents and baby Tarzan growing up and building the treehouse, which we see in the further animated series and so forth of Tarzan living in. Sabor the leopard is shown to kill both a baby gorilla, the child of Kerchak and Kala, as well as Tarzan's parents. Kala, heartbroken, finds baby Tarzan and raises him on her own, as the rest of the group of gorillas don't really support this decision, especially the leader Kerchak, who despises Tarzan as not being part of or really just not being an ape at all. Tarzan grows up and bestows a friend, Turk, technically his adoptive cousin, and later on, after a brief encounter with trying to collect an elephant hair off the tail of an elephant, he meets Tantor the elephant and they all become best little buddies. Tarzan goes through a growing up experience through the song Son of Man. I'm just reading this all, or kind of just doing this all off the top of my head, y'all, so bear with me. And grows up into a man. There, he ends up fighting Sabor the leopard who took the life of course, that baby gorilla that was Kala's and Kerchak's child, as well as his parents, which he doesn't even know yet. He successfully kills Sabor and gives off the triumphant Tarzan roar we all know. But before he even gains the respect of Kerchak, a gunshot is heard in the distance, and as Tarzan explores against the wise and all-knowing Kerchak, he discovers there are other people that look like him. First seeing Clayton with a shotgun, we'll just keep on going. Soon followed by Professor Archimedes Q. Porter and Jane, as of course he's fascinated by Jane as being very different. I don't know where I was going with that. He keeps an eye on them for a short while as Jane wanders off from the group and gets attacked by a bunch of baboons after trying to take her sketch back from I'm trying to remember the name of the baby monkey that was Apu or something like that. It's not that. It's from the animated series. He has a name, Apu or something like that. From there on, Tarzan saves Jane and becomes friends with her, meeting back at the camp where Turk and the others have trashed the camp as well spoken in the song. Tarzan is able to flee along with the others and protects Jane from Kerchak's fury. He later returns to find Jane and prove to the others that he's real, and goes under a self-discovery story of finding out what he is and learning the ways of modern man. Soon he finds out that Jane is supposed to leave and go back to England, and the only way he can keep her there is to show her father, and Clayton the home of the gorillas. Which, after doing this, we basically... Well, actually, that's later on, sorry. Kerchak evidently finds out, so we're just skipping through this. Kerchak finds out, trashes everything, almost kills Clayton after Clayton shoots his gun accidentally. And Tarzan is able to stand up to Kerchak and actually fight him. Holy crap, that was an awesome fight as well. Just going through that. Tarzan is not rejected from the group, but he ends up leaving on his own, and Kala shows him the treehouse where his parents were killed. He learns who he truly is in his lineage, and prepares to go live with Jane in the modern day world, even donning his father's suit. However, not as all as it seems, as soon as boarding the ship, he discovers that Clayton's true scheme is to capture all the gorillas and bring them back and sell them. Clayton successfully traps all the main characters and goes to shore and captures all the gorillas, as well as nearly killing Kerchak. All the while, Tarzan eventually escapes the locks of the boat and charges in with an army of Africa's giant jungle animals. Well, they're not all giant, there's baboons as well. To fight the invaders. Jane, Tantor, Turk, and Archimedes Q. Porter. I need to quit calling him by his full name. Professor Porter. Professor Porter is his name. Charge in and help Tarzan fight off all the invaders. Poachers, I should say. I should say poachers. Able to successfully save all the animals except for Kerchak, who, after trying to defend Tarzan, is shot by Clayton. Tarzan then ensues a fight with Clayton in the treetops above, leading to Clayton basically, hanging himself after he goes all knife crazy and cuts all the vines around him and just hangs himself. It's pretty dark. You see the shadow of his dead body just flinging there. You see it on the screen? Just his dead body just left and right and left and right. The movie then cuts to the ending where Tarzan, still beaten up from his wounds, actually, I forgot, reel back a little bit. Essentially, Tarzan meets Kerchak on his dying breath, and Kerchak names him the new leader of the gorillas and his son as he dies. Tarzan then assumes the role as leader of the gorillas and moves out. I mean moves out in terms of a military fashion, not actually move out, so... Cut back, film ends with Tarzan sending Jane sending Tarzan off, and them leaving for the modern world again while Tarzan stays with the gorillas. However, after a much needed little romantic scheme, Jane stays with Tarzan, jumping into the ocean and then kissing him when she gets to shore, leading to also Professor Porter to jump in the water and stay as well, which leads to the animated series. Of course, the film goes to a theatrical, amazing theme of Phil Collins. I'm really screwing this up, but anyway. Essentially, cool music goes off. Tarzan and Jane get together. They swinging through the trees. They end up landing on a tree. You see Professor Porter swinging around as a gorilla. You see all the gorillas happy and all the animals happy in the jungle. Then you pan out and you see this beautiful view. And Tarzan gives off his triumphant roar with his Queen of the Jungle, Jane. I'm not even going to butcher it, so here's the real one. So, after all that, let's get to production. So, essentially, guys, I'm just going to read off Google here. This is my reference. I've got all my references in the links down below. So, yeah, just deal with it. Just deal with it. The development. Disney's Tarzan was the first Tarzan film to be animated. Thomas Schmacher, the president of Feature Animation, expressed surprise that there weren't any previous attempts to animate a Tarzan film, saying, "Here's a book that cries out to be animated, yet we're the first filmmakers to ever have taken Tarzan from the page to the screen and presented the character as Burroughs intended." He noted that in animated form, Tarzan is able to connect with the animals on a deeper level than he can in live-action versions.
That's material directly from the book that's really never been explored before because you couldn't do it. This medium allows you to do that.
Of course, those being like, I forget the second actor, but I do remember Johnny Weissmuller. Following work on a Goofy movie in the late 1994, Kevin Lima was approached to direct Tarzan by studio chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg, who desired to have the film animated at a Canadian-based satellite television animation studio, which Lima was reluctant to do because of the animation complexities being done by inexperienced animators. Following Katzenberg's resignation from Walt Disney Company, oh yeah, that's right. Katzenberg was he the douchebag, or I can't remember. I think he was the douchebag that copied Ants and screwed over Robin Williams and whatnot. Anyway, following Katzenberg's resignation from Walt Disney Company, Lima was again contacted about the project by Michael Eisner, who decided, Michael Eisner's the guy I remember, who decided to have the film produced through the feature animation division, by which Lima signed on. Following this, Lima decided to read Tarzan and the Apes, where he began to visualize the theme of two hands being held up against each other. That image became an important symbol of the relationships between the characters in the film and a metaphor of Tarzan's search for identity. "I was looking for something that would underscore Tarzan's sense of being alike, yet different from his ape family," Lima said. The image of touching hands was first conceived as an idea for how Tarzan realizes he and Jane are physically the same. Following his 2-month study of the book, Lima approached his friend Chris Buck, who had just wrapped up work as supervising animator on Pocahontas, to ask if he would be interested in serving as co-director. Buck was initially skeptical, but accepted after hearing Lima's ideas for the film. By April 1995, the Los Angeles Times reported the film was in its preliminary stages, with Lima and Buck directing, after Disney had obtained the story rights from the estate of Edgar Rice Burroughs. The writing. Tab Murphy, who had just finished work on The Hunchback of Notre Dame, was attracted to the theme of man versus nature in Tarzan and began development and treatment in January 1995. For the third act, Murphy suggested that Tarzan should leave for England as he did in the book. Actually, I don't think he left in the book. Didn't he stay in the jungle to protect Jane and technically his cousin who was dating Jane, so that they would live happily in England? He'd stay in the jungle. I gotta read the novel then, because it's very conflicting right now. Because I believe that's the ending, not the ending where he goes to England. But the directors felt that it was incompatible with their central flame of what defines a family. In order to keep Tarzan in the jungle, the third act needed to be restructured. By redefining the role of the villain and inventing a way to endanger the gorillas, in this prominent from Burroughs' novel, a villain named Clayton was created to serve as a guide for Professor Porter's and Jane's for Professor Porter and his daughter Jane, in addition to his I'm screwing this up. As a guy for Professor Porter and his daughter Jane, in addition to this, Kerchak was recharacterized from a savage silverback into the protector of the gorilla tribe. In addition, in January of 1997, husband and wife screenwriter duo Bob Zudiker and Nani White were hired to help refocus and add humor to the script as a way to balance the emotional weight of the film. Comedy writer Dave Reynolds was also brought on to write numerous dialogue for the film. I was initially hired on for 6 weeks for rewriting and punch-up. Reynolds said, a year and a half later, either they liked my work or I was very bad at time management. One challenge the writers faced is how Tarzan should learn about his past. When Kala takes Tarzan back to the treehouse, she's essentially telling him that he was adopted. Bonnie Arnold, the producer of Tarzan, said this is necessitated by him encountering humans and recognizing he is one of them as a way to explore the feelings in that scene. Arnold brought in adoptive parents to talk with the story team. Another issue was the inherent and overt racism in the original Edgar Rice Burroughs Tarzan. Okay, the writers consciously chose to not include any African characters in order to avoid this topic. I don't really remember from the novel that I read a little bit about. Oh, that's right, the cannibalistic pygmies. So yeah, if you don't remember in the original novel and even the film, there are cannibalistic African-American pygmies in there, so you had the one tour guide who was black, so I really don't see the problem there. There are tribes of cannibalistic pygmies in Africa, weren't there? There was some in the Congo, if I remember right, so SJW, stay away from me. Casting. Brendan Fraser auditioned twice for the title character before portraying the lead role in George of the Jungle. Tony Goldwyn auditioned for the title role as well, and according to co-director Kevin Lima, Goldwyn landed it because of the animal sense in his readings, along with some killer baboon imitations for the signature Tarzan yell. Lima and Buck desired the traditional yell, although Goldwyn faced difficulties with providing the yell, stating, "It's really hard to do." Physically, co-star Brian Blessed ultimately provided the yell. So, Brian Blessed, who played as Clayton, actually did the yell for Tarzan. Turk was originally written as a male gorilla, but following Rosie O'Donnell's audition, Turk was recharacterized as a female. Furthermore, Woody Allen was initially cast as the neurotic elephant Tantor. However, Katzenberg persuaded Allen to lead the project for Dreamers' picture Ants. Yeah, Katzenberg was the douchebag that basically copied Bug's Life for Ants and screwed over Robin Williams. So, Katzenberg, douchebag. So, persuaded Allen to lead the project for DreamWorks Pictures Ants. In exchange, the studio would distribute his next 4 films, agreeing to the deal. Allen departed from Tarzan in 1996 and was replaced by Wayne Knight. Animation. The animators were split into 2 teams, one in Paris and one in Burbank, California. The 6,000-mile distance and difference in time zones posed challenges for collaboration, especially for scenes with Tarzan and Jane. Glenn Keane was the supervising animator for Tarzan at this Paris studio, while Ken Duncan was the supervising animator for Jane at the studio in Burbank. To make coordinating scenes with multiple characters easier, the animators used a system called a scene machine that would send rough drawings between the 2 animation studios. Meanwhile, following production of Mulan, 200 animators at the feature animation satellite Florida studio provided character animation and special effects animation, where the filmmakers had to discuss their work through daily video conferences and among the 3 studios. Keane was inspired to make Tarzan surf through the trees because of his son's interest in extreme sports, and he began working on a test scene. The directors expressed concern that Tarzan would be made into a surfer dude, but when Keane revealed the test animation to them, they liked it enough to use in the film during the Son of Man sequence, with movements inspired by skateboarder Tony Hawk. Although Keane initially thought that Tarzan would be easy to animate because he only wears a loincloth, he realized that he would need a fully working human musculature while still being able to move like an animal. To figure out Tarzan's movements, the Paris animation team studied different animals in order to transpose their movements onto him. They also consulted with a professor in anatomy. This resulted in Tarzan being the first Disney character to accurately display working muscles. To prepare for animating the gorillas, the animation team attended lectures on primates, made trips to zoos, and studied nature documentaries with a group of animators also witnessing a gorilla dissection to learn about their musculature in 1996. Wonder where they got the gorilla. The animation team went on a 2-week safari in Kenya to take reference photographs and observe the animals on the trip. They visited Bwindi Impenetrable National Park in Uganda to view mountain gorillas in the wild and get inspiration for the setting. In 2000, Chris Buck repeated the journey, accompanied by journalists, to promote the film's home video release. To create the sweeping 3D backgrounds, Tarzan's production team developed a 3D painting and rendering technique known as deep canvas, a term coined by artist-engineer Eric Daniels. This technique allows artists to produce a CGI background that looks like a traditional painting. According to art director Daniel St. Pierre, the software keeps track of brushstrokes applied in 3D space. For his advancement, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences awarded the creators of Deep Canvas a Technical Achievements Award in 2003 after Tarzan. Deep Canvas was used for a number of sequences in Atlantis: The Lost Empire in 2001. Particularly large panoramic shots of the island and several action sequences. Expanding the support moving objects as part of the background, Deep Canvas was used to create about 75% of the environments in Disney's next major animated action film, Treasure Planet of 2002. In 1995, Phil Collins was initially brought onto the project as a songwriter following a recommendation by Disney music executive Chris Montan. Following the success with the 1988 film Buster, Collins did not mind providing songs for Tarzan. Early into production, directors Kevin Lima and Chris Buck decided not to follow Disney's musical tradition by having the characters sing "I did not want Tarzan to sing," Lima stated. "I just couldn't see this half-naked man sitting on a branch breaking out into song. I thought it would be ridiculous." Instead, Collins would perform the songs in the film, serving as the narrator. A choice of Collins, a popular and well-established adult commentary or contemporary artist, led to comparisons with Elton John's earlier music for The Lion King. Tarzan was dubbed in 35 languages, the most for any Disney movie at the time, and Collins recorded his songs in French, Italian, German, and Spanish for the dubbed versions of the film's soundtrack. According to Collins, most of the songs he wrote for Tarzan came from improvisation sessions, and his reactions while reading the treatment. 3 of the songs he wrote, Son of Man, Trash in the Camp, and Strangers Like Me, were based on his initial impressions after he read the source material. The other 2 songs were You'll Be in My Heart, a lullaby song to Tarzan by Kala, voiced by Glenn Close, and Two Worlds, a song Collins wrote to serve as the anthem for Tarzan. The instrumental scoring for the film was composed by Mark Mancina, who had previously produced music for The Lion King and the musical of the same name. Mancina and Collins worked closely to create music that would complement the film's setting and use many obscure elements from Mancina's personal collection in the score. The idea of the score and song arrangement came together as the entity, as Phil and I worked in tandem to create what's heard in the film, Mancina said. On June 12th, 1999, and I'll reiterate this again. I really screwed that up again. The film premiered at the El Capitan Theater with the cast and filmmakers as attendees, followed by a 40-minute concert with Phil Collins performing songs from the film. On July 23rd, 1999, Disney launched a digital production release of Tarzan, released only in 3 theatrical venues, including Walt Disney World's Pleasure Island multiplex for 3 weeks, although Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and An Ideal Husband were given earlier digital projection releases despite being shot on photographic film. Tarzan was notable for being the first major feature release to have been produced, mastered, and projected digitally. I'm starting to lose my voice. Marketing. Disney Consumer Products released a series of toys, books, and stuffed animals for Tarzan, partnering with Mattel to produce a line of plush toys and action figures. And so I've actually seen this toy in the wild before. It's called the Rad Repeating Tarzan. I'm about to read this line to y'all about what it is.
Where's my Gatorade?
Counter. Working on something. Oh, the beauties of making a video where there's no sound, or mostly no sound. Losing my voice. Mattel also produced the Rad Repeatin' Tarzan action figure, but discontinued it after complaints regarding the toy's onanistic arm motions. Essentially, the toy had a spear throwing motion. However, the arm would go from the top of the arm down to his crotch for the spear throwing motion, so it kind of looked like something else. I'm gonna buy that toy one day just so I can show y'all and review it for myself, because I love Tarzan, so of course I need the main Tarzan action figure and have some adult jokes with it. Continuing its advertising alliance with McDonald's, its promotional campaign began on the film's opening day with several toys accompanied with Happy Meals and soda straws that replicated the Tarzan yell. I have never heard of the Tarzan yelling straws, but I will have to find those. And of course, finish off my collection of the Tarzan action figures. Disney also worked with Nestle to create Tarzan-themed candies, including a banana-flavored chocolate bar, and in the early 2000s, Disney partnered again with McDonald's to release a set of 8 Happy Meal toys as a tie-in for the film's home video. They also offered Tarzan-themed food options such as banana sundaes and jungle burgers. So yeah, I had most of those toys as a kid. Oh man, I'm losing my voice, you can hear it. Gotta try and finish this quick. Gotta go fast. Home media. On February 1st, 2000, which I actually wrote this in my script right before filming this, the film was released on VHS and DVD. The DVD version contained bonus material, including the Strangers Like Me music video, the making of Trash in the Camp, featuring Collins and Sink, and an interactive trivia game. A 2-disc collector's edition was released on April 18th, 2000. It included an audio commentary track recorded by the filmmakers, behind-the-scenes footage, and supplements that detailed the legacy of Tarzan and the film's development. I'll have to find that sometime. Both editions were retired in January 31st of 2002 and put in the Disney Vault. I always hated the Disney Vault because they'd take it back out of the vault and you could only get it for a short amount of time, and then they put it back in the vault. It was sufferable. On October 15, 2005, Disney released Tarzan Special Edition on DVD. Tarzan's first Blu-ray edition was released throughout Europe in early 2012, and on August 12, 2014. Disney released the Tarzan Special Edition on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD. I don't know, I screwed up there, but there it is. Reception. I really hate working with reception in here. Oh, that's a lot of reading. Essentially, I'm just going to say this. Critics loved it. I'll just speed through this real quick. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 89%. Entertainment Weekly compared the film's advancement in visual effects to that of The Matrix, stating that it had the neatest computer-generated background work since Keanu Reeves did the backstroke in slow motion. Oh, wow. They elaborated by describing how the characters moved seamlessly through the jump backgrounds themselves, giving the film a unique three-dimensional feel that far surpassed the quality of previous live-action attempts. Todd McCarthy of Variety proved to be less amused by the animation, claiming it was richly detailed and colorfully conceived, but the computer animation and graphics are often intermingled and combined in ways that are more distracting in their differences than helpful in their vividness. Is Todd McCarthy dead? Because I want to know. I'm not gonna do that. What was her name? Whatever that comic book, whatever that Star Trek-y fan was, who wished that, or asked if said something like, what's his name, Captain Kirk was dead or not, or she would rather have another dude alive than him, or whatever. I'm not going to do myself with her, like her. The Radio Times review was not positive, stating the film falls way short of Disney's best output and featured weak comic relief. The review concluded lacking the epic sweep of Mulan or The Lion King and laced with feeble background songs from Phil Collins, who was inexplicably awarded an Oscar. This King of the Swingers may be merchandise friendly, but it's not Jungle VIP. Okay, we're finally done with all this. Okay, let's end off on a good one. Ty Burr of Entertainment Weekly gave the soundtrack a B, stating that the film, that it was awkwardly split between Collins' songs and... Hold on, what? No, I'm almost done! That it was awkwardly split between... Okay, let's go ahead and read this. Good one. Ty Burr of Entertainment Weekly gave the soundtrack a B-, stating that it was awkwardly split between Collins' songs and the traditional score was burdened by too many alternate versions of the tracks and in some instances more similarities to the scores of The Lion King and Star Wars. and we'll get to Accolades in just a minute. Alright, so I'm back with the awards this film got. So, it ended up, I think I wrote this in my script. The film in total will be nominated for 4 award nominations. I'm just going to read this off of here. So, on to the accolades, the awards. So, essentially, it won an Academy Award for Best Musical Original Song for Phil Collins for the song You'll Be in My Heart. It also won a Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song and for a motion picture for Phil Collins for the song You'll Be in My Heart. It was nominated for a Grammy for Best Song Written for a Motion Picture, Television, or Other Visual Media. That was for Phil Collins for the song You'll Be in My Heart. And it won a Grammy for Best Soundtrack Album for Phil Collins and Artists and Producers, as Phil Collins for Artist and Producer, as well as Mark Mancina as Producer. And that award was won. Tarzan was also nominated for 11 Annie Awards, winning 1 in the category for Technical Achievement in the field of animation. The award was given to Eric Daniels, who developed the deep canvas animation process for the film. Phil Collins was nominated for a Kids' Choice Award for his song Two Worlds, but lost to Will Smith's song Wild Wild West. Rosie O'Donnell, the host of the 2000 Kids' Choice Awards, was nominated for her voice work as Tarzan's best friend Turk. She won the award for her favorite voice from an animated movie, beating out both Tim Allen and Tom Hanks, the voices of Buzz Lightyear and Woody from Toy Story 2. The film was recognized by the American Film Institute in these lists. 2004, the AFI's 100 Years and 100 Songs You'll Be in My Heart, which was nominated, and was also nominated in 2008 for AFI's 10 Top 10 nominated animation and film. As for adaptations, of course, we've already talked about the animated series, but we'll go ahead and talk about it again, as well as the Broadway musical and the video games. A spin-off animated series named The Legend of Tarzan ran from 2001 to 2003. The series picks up where the film left off, yada yada yada, with Tarzan adjusting to his new role as the leader of the apes following Kerchak's death, and Jane, whom he has since married. Adjusting to life in the jungle in July of 1999, Disney announced that they were planning a sequel for Tarzan. In 2002, Tarzan and Jane was released as a direct-to-video sequel, with Michael T. Weiss replacing Goldwyn as the voice of Tarzan. Tarzan 2, a direct-to-video follow-up, was released in 2005, which we already talked about. A Broadway musical produced by Disney Theatrical, also titled Tarzan, began previews on March 24, 2006, at an official opening night on May 10th of the same year. After running for over a year on Broadway, the show closed on July 8th, 2007. And 5 Tarzan video games have been released on various platforms. Tarzan's Home is also featured as a playable world in the 2002 game Kingdom Hearts, and in the 2013 HD remake Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix, in which Goldwyn and Blessed, so Tarzan and Clayton, reprised their roles. And essentially, here's an overview of the games. So, there's all that. So, Tarzan for PlayStation, from 1999 2000. So, Microsoft Windows and Nintendo 64, Game Boy, and Disney's Tarzan Returns was for Game Boy Advanced, so that's 2 games so far. Disney's Extreme Skating is the 3rd game. Tarzan Untamed from 2001 for PlayStation 2 and GameCube is the 4th. And Tarzan Untamed is the PlayStation game is essentially the film, essentially very faithful to the film, while Tarzan Untamed is a special game where some poacher dude wants to capture Tarzan and use him as an exhibit on tour, and you essentially have to fight him, his goons, different animals, and all that jazz, and it doesn't look like too bad of a game. I might have to play it one day, see how it is, but all in all, that's all the information on my script. So take it away, real life me. Thanks, Animated Me. So anyway, I guess that's it. I love Tarzan. I love the cartoon, the movie, the sequels, the animated series. The one video game that I ever got to play, and of course, the toys. Oh, sorry. Like I said, though, I'll have to get that Rad Repeating Tarzan someday just to review it. I'm sorry y'all can hear my tank in the background. I'll have to review and all that. It'll be pretty funny. But I actually saw it in the wild, like I said, one day at a flea market, and he had it for so long, but he wanted $40 originally, then he wanted $20, and I just didn't want to spend it. It's only like $30 on eBay, so I'll have to get it one day. So anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoy this overview of Tarzan 1999 for its 20th anniversary, which is tomorrow. This movie is about as old as me, so... And of course, I just love everything about it. It's my favorite Disney movie of all time. You know what? I never covered the soundtrack list. Hold on a second. Wow, I can't believe I forgot to list this. So, since we're going to go over all the songs really quick. Of course, you already know about Mark Mancina, Phil Collins, NSYNC, Rosie O'Donnell, Glenn Close, all of them who sing this jazz. So anyway, here's all 14 songs. Two Worlds, performed by Phil Collins. You'll Be in My Heart, the lullaby version by Glenn Close. Son of Man, performed by Phil Collins. Trash in the Camp, performed by Rosie O'Donnell. Strangers Like Me by Phil Collins. Two Worlds Reprise, which is a separate version by Phil Collins. Trash in the Camp, with Phil Collins and NSYNC version. You'll Be in My Heart, the Phil Collins version. Two Worlds, the Phil Collins version. I guess that's the ending, I think. A Wondrous Place, which is a score by Mark Mancina. Moves Like an Ape, Looks Like a Man is a score by Mark Mancina. The Gorillas, which is a score by Mark Mancina. One Family, which is a score by Mark Mancina. Oh, Two Worlds Finale. That's the ending. I love that ending. So anyway, guys, review the soundtrack. That's essentially everything of Tarzan. And yeah, we don't go too far into the history of Tarzan itself. You know, The Legend of Tarzan starring Alexander Skarsgård or Johnny Weissmuller, or the original comics and novel Tarzan and the Apes, which I actually really want to read now. Gotta find it somewhere. Can't wait to pick it up one day. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Hope y'all enjoy this Overdue review. And stay tuned this weekend. I'm going to try and get my family together and do a live stream reaction to Tarzan and watch it and give our thoughts 20 years later. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let's hit the 2,600 subscriber mark. I could have. Shut up! This is one time! One time! Zip it! Do I just go beating my chest and do this every day? I usually do a deeper version, which is better. I don't know if it worked, but anyway. Peace out.